Hi, Cicera. We haven't talked to each other since we graduated from high school, right? So this makes it 9 years, I guess. Are you still enjoying that life of poverty? Anyways, I wanted to talk to you about the wedding invitation I sent you recently. You know, the one I sent you by email since I didn't know your new address. Could you hurry up and send me your reply already? Or is it that you're worried whether you'll be able to pay for the trip to the wedding venue because you're so poor? Looks like you haven't changed, Cicera. Long time no see, Rosa. Ah, so you're still doing that running joke of yours where you set me up as being poor and make fun of me for it. Huh? What do you mean by running joke? But you are actually poor, right? I've been telling you this since we were in elementary school, but my family isn't as poor as you make us out to be. Huh? Listen up. Your family is poor and my family is rich. You see, you call someone like me, who lives in a mansion and is the daughter of a CEO, rich, and you call someone like you, who lives in a tiny 2DK apartment, poor. Do you understand that? Sure, you may be able to barely get by, but you're poor compared to me, all right? But it doesn't make sense to judge how rich or poor someone is based on the size of the house they live in. Just because someone doesn't live in a luxurious house doesn't mean that they're poor, you know? Besides, I already told you why my family lived in a 2DK apartment instead of a house when we were kids, right? Oh, yeah, it was something about how your father was the eldest son of his family and that he would eventually inherit his parents' house, right? There was tension between your mother and her mother-in-law, so you guys decided to live separately from her for the time being, or something? Yes. We now live in that house, the one my father inherited after his parents passed away. Yeah, I get it already. Even if a poor person inherits a house that belonged to a poor person, it doesn't change the fact that they're still poor. It's basically the same thing from my perspective. So you don't actually understand, huh? Anyways, we got off topic. I was talking about the wedding invitation I sent you by email. I need you to send me your reply as soon as possible. Oh, you were getting married, right? I was about to contact you about that wedding invitation myself, so this was good timing. Huh? What do you mean you were going to contact me about it? Why not just reply to my email? You see, for some reason I got multiple wedding invitations for your wedding. Huh? Yeah, I received 2, one from your husband and one from you. What? Really? The other wedding invitation was for both me and my husband to come, but yours was just for me. Wait, you were married? Yeah, I just got married last year. But you never invited me to your wedding. Sorry, but only family was invited to our wedding ceremony. Oh, I get it. You were too poor that you could only throw a small-scale wedding, huh? Unlike me, who's going to throw a grand wedding that's going to cost over 100,000 euros. It wasn't really a financial decision, but... Wait, but your last name didn't change. It did. I just didn't tell you about it yet. I'm sorry, but I'll have to delete the wedding invitation you sent me and reply to the one inviting both me and my husband instead. It would be weird if the two of us went to the wedding with separate invitations, right? Well, I guess it can't be helped. I guess it was bad management that we accidentally sent you 2 wedding invitations. It doesn't matter, though, because you're still going to be coming to the wedding, right? It's fine as long as that's the case. Yep. Thanks for understanding. All right, I'm going to reply to this other wedding invitation inviting me and my husband instead of yours. I'll make sure to reply by the end of this week. Yeah, all right. Hi, Cicera. Have you arrived at the wedding venue yet? I don't think you would do something like this, but don't tell me that you suddenly changed your plans, did you? No, I haven't changed my plans. I'm currently on my way to the wedding venue. Okay. Oh, that reminds me. We're going to be serving luxurious food, the kind you probably are too poor to eat often, at the wedding reception, but I am begging you, try not to stuff your face with it, all right? Oh, and I don't think I need to tell you this, but taking it home also isn't allowed. You don't have to worry about that. You see, I had a mentor teach me basic manners when I was younger. Huh? A mentor? Are you trying to show off? There's no way someone as poor as you would be able to take lessons on manners. Only people who belong to the upper class like me receive lessons on manners. Just imagining you at such a place makes me laugh. I already told you this multiple times. My family isn't as poor as you're making us out to be. Yeah, you're poor compared to me at least. By the way, you're probably worried about the wedding gift that you're going to have to give us, right? This is a wedding thrown by rich people after all. But since I'm not just rich, but kind as well, I'll let you give me only 1 cent as a wedding gift. Huh? I'm not so selfish as to make a poor person pay me money. I really won't mind even if you give me only 1 cent. You see, my husband is also extremely rich, which means that this is kind of a celebrity marriage. Most of the other people here are also from the upper class, so we're just going to receive the wedding gift money from them instead. I see, but I really don't mind giving you a regular-sized wedding gift. No need to act all proud, Cicera. It's not your fault that you and your husband are poor after all. Anyways, the wedding ceremony today is probably going to be so luxurious that you probably have never even dreamed of anything like it before. But don't get all snotty when you get here just because you're jealous of my money, all right? Just try not to look like a complete idiot. I arrived at the wedding venue's parking lot, so I'll talk to you later. Oh, so you finally arrived? Look forward to the wedding reception, all right? I've got a surprise for you. Hi, Rosa. Can we talk right now? It's about me and my husband's seat at the wedding reception. What's the meaning of this placement? Oh, you finally noticed. It's a pretty hilarious seating plan, don't you think? It's not just that you didn't prepare seats for us, but it says that we're supposed to stand by the walls. Is this some kind of a joke? How did you even convince the wedding planners to let you do this? How I convinced them to do this is none of your business. You see, I thought it would be embarrassing for you two if I didn't give you positions at the wedding reception befitting of a poor person. Oh, don't worry about the food, though. We're going to give you the same food as everyone else. You see, I was thinking at first to only give you guys some chips and beer I was going to buy at the convenience store, since you were only going to give me 1 cent as a wedding gift after all. But I changed my mind since I thought that it wouldn't be good, since that might ruin the wedding reception's atmosphere. The other guests would feel uncomfortable if these two weirdos were standing in the corner eating chips after all, which means I'll be kind enough and just make you guys stand by the walls. First of all, I don't want you to be misunderstood, so I'll have you know that we're going to give you a standard-sized wedding gift. Huh? But how did you get that much money? We are not so poor as to not be able to prepare even that much money. Oh, is that so? Rosa, I honestly don't care that much that you placed us like this, but does your groom know about this seating placement of yours? Because I don't think that he's going to be as uninterested in this as I am. Huh? Why do you ask? I'm the one who invited you guys, so it's my freedom as to how I place you guys at the wedding reception, right? My groom has nothing to do with this. What are you talking about? What do you mean that you're the one who invited us? But didn't I already tell you that I got 2 invitations and that I would be replying to the one that invited both me and my husband? Don't tell me, but do you seriously not know who invited us? It was your groom that invited me and your husband. What? Oh, that's right. What do you mean, that's right? Did you not see the guest list? You looked at the guest list and then came up with this seating placement, right? What? Oh, I guess it did say something like that on the guest list. It looks like you weren't listening to me either when I told you that I would delete the wedding invitation I received from you and reply to the one your husband sent us instead. If this was just me involved, I wouldn't even bother making a commotion out of this and just go home already. But this is just going a bit too far. Actually, I think this is going way too far. What in the world are you talking about? What, do you think my groom is going to get mad about this or something? Why would he get mad? You guys are just some random colleagues of his that he probably just invited as a courtesy. Do you seriously not know the relationship between your groom and me and my husband? We're not just some random colleagues. What? But I thought that you guys just worked at the same company, right? You guys were in the category of colleagues. Well, yeah, I guess we are his colleagues, but it's really more than that. First of all, I'm the CEO of the company your groom works at as a senior executive manager. What? You're the CEO? That doesn't make any sense. You see, my great-grandfather was the one who founded this company. I inherited it 1 year ago, and I'm currently its 4th CEO. My husband, by the way, is the company's vice president. Huh? No way. You've got to be kidding right now. But the company my husband works at is one of the largest in its field. There's no way someone as poor as you is actually the great-granddaughter of its founder and also the current CEO. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, your father was just a regular employee, right? Why would a CEO be living in a tiny 2DK apartment like that anyways? No. My father was already the CEO when we used to live near each other. Like I already said, just because someone doesn't live in a luxurious house doesn't mean that they're poor. What? I already told you we only lived in that 2DK apartment since my father was about to inherit his parents' house, and we were planning on moving there soon. You didn't tell me anything about this. I think I did. Several times, actually. Even your parents knew about this. Whatever I said to you, you kept calling me poor for some reason, so eventually I just got tired of explaining it to you. Besides, I didn't like how you kept boasting about your parents' job, since it felt like you were making fun of people who worked in different fields. Huh? What even is that? Oh, and there's one more thing I need to tell you. What is it? Did you know that my company is the largest trading partner of your father's company? What? Really? I seriously don't know how you've been able to live your life until now not knowing any of this, when both your father and your groom have ties with our company. Actually, I guess it isn't that surprising, though. Knowing you, you probably just ignored what everyone else told you so that you could continue living in the reality you made up in your head. Anyways, I heard that you managed to make our seating arrangements like this by lying to the planners this morning, right before the wedding ceremony started, about who we actually were, and basically forced them to change the seating arrangements that were already decided as we were your groom's guests. Yeah, but don't you think it's only natural to assume that someone is poor if they live in a tiny 2DK apartment like that? Not if that person told you several times that that wasn't actually the case. You messed up big time, Rosa. For your groom, my husband and I are his superiors as the CEO and vice president of the company he works at. And as for your father, we're the heads of his company's most important trading partners. And you insulted us like this by making us stand by the walls because you refused to believe what I told you. Not that this would be okay even if we were actually poor. What? Well, that's it from me. I was able to find out your intentions behind this seating arrangement you came up with, so I think I'll leave it to your groom and parents now, because I, for one, am honestly just glad that I have an excuse to go home. What? Me and my husband are guests of your groom, so they're probably going to check the seats of your groom's guests first. Wait, what? Well then, me and my husband are going to go home now. No, why are you going to go home? But if you go home now, this is just going to make what I did look even worse. But I heard that your groom is already talking about canceling the wedding ceremony. He's going to cancel it? Goodbye then. Wait, don't go! Cicera, what am I going to do about this? My marriage with my fiancé was canceled, and my parents got so furious with me that they basically cut ties with me and kicked me out of their house. Not only that, but they're making me pay for a bunch of stuff, including an alimony and the wedding ceremony's cancellation fees, and apparently I have to pay a total of over 100,000 euros. I'm the daughter of a CEO, but now I have to get a job? I didn't even do anything wrong. It was just a simple misunderstanding. I didn't know you and your husband were the CEO and the vice CEO of my husband's company. I get why everyone's mad at me, but don't you think that canceling the marriage over a simple misunderstanding is going a bit too far? I don't think that this is something serious enough for my parents to cut ties with me like that either. Besides, this is kind of your fault anyways. The only reason I thought that you were poor in the first place was because your family lived in a tiny 2DK apartment. You're partly responsible for this mess, so I think that you have a duty to help me out now, you know? Cicera? Hey, Cicera! Reply to my texts. I was eating lunch when Rosa suddenly sent me this wall of text, and I couldn't stand all the notifications, so I eventually just blocked her account. She doesn't know my current address, so I'm not worried about her trying to come to our house and do anything crazy. But I am worried that she might attempt to break into our office and make a scene, since not only was I there, but her ex-fiancé, the senior executive manager, was also. We were half expecting her to barge in at any moment, and it looks like my guess was correct. Of course, we already expected this to happen, so as soon as she tried to barge in, some of the staff pretended to welcome her and led her to the meeting room, giving her some tea and snacks as a distraction. Behind her back, though, we contacted her parents. Rosa jumped in shock when she saw her parents enter the meeting room, and she was taken away before she could even realize what was happening. Apparently, she was sent to work at a construction company famous for turning even the most wretched of society's degenerates into upstanding citizens. She now does grueling work, which is also the first kind of work she's ever done in her life. Under the constant watch of her superiors, working day and night to pay off the over 100,000 euros of money she owes.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Good morning, Miria. Work has already started, but you're going to be late again today? This is your 5th day in a row being late.
Oh, sorry. You see, my boyfriend I'm currently living with wouldn't wake me up on time. To tell you the truth, we were too busy making love all night, so we couldn't go to sleep until it was already morning. Sorry, I guess the both of us just overslept again.
That's not an excuse to be late. Hurry up and come to work, will you?
Oh, come on, Pietra. No need to be so stiff. Just because you're 39 and still single and are doomed to a life of loneliness doesn't mean you can take that anger out on me, who's about to get married at the age of 20, I think. You know, you should really go and find a boyfriend of your own, because maybe then you wouldn't be so uptight about everything anymore.
Like I said, none of what you're saying right now changes the fact that you're late. Come to work immediately.
Aw, can you forgive me just this once? You see, our wedding is going to take place next week, so our love for each other is also at a peak right now. I promise that from next week, I'll come to work on time every day. So, in exchange, could you just let me be with my boyfriend a little bit longer? Please, Pietra, are you really going to make me just leave him like this?
That's not an excuse to be late. Hurry up and come to work.
Huh? What's your problem? And to think I was sharing some of my happiness with you. This is why you're 39 and still single. Guys are turned off by women like you who are too uptight, you know.
Do you want me to say the same thing for the 4th time? Should I copy and paste it over and over until you finally understand what it means?
Fine, I get it.
Oh, and by the way, when addressing your colleagues at work, you need to be more polite and have manners, no matter the age of the person you're talking to. Please don't bring your private matters into work. I don't want to have to tell you this several times as well.
I understand. I'll get prepared and leave the house right now if that's what you want.
Thank you. We've got a department meeting today, so it would be best if you get here as soon as possible because it's about to start in 30 minutes.
I don't think today is a holiday, right, Pietra? But it's already time for your lunch break, and I still haven't seen you. Could it be that you're late? This is why single old women are the worst. You always nagged me for being late to work, but now you're late yourself? Seriously, Pietra, this is just embarrassing. This is why they call you a hypocrite, you know.
Hello, Miria. But I got to work on time this morning as usual, and I've been at my desk all morning. What are you talking about?
Huh? But I haven't seen you at your desk all day. Our department mainly deals with internal affairs, so the excuse of, I have business outside won't work, you know.
Oh, so you didn't get the notification regarding the staff relocation?
Staff relocation? What are you talking about?
You see, I've been moved to the marketing department, and I'm going to be working here starting from today.
Huh?
I already moved all the stuff that was around my old desk to my new desk. Didn't you notice?
Seriously? You're right. Everything except the computer is gone.
Yes, I was told that a new employee that's going to be joining us next week is going to be using that computer, which is why it was left there.
So it's also true that you were relocated to the marketing department? But that department is popular amongst the women here since there are so many handsome men. I wanted to go there too.
But didn't you say that you had a fiancé? Never mind. This staff relocation was announced to everyone in the company 2 months ago. You're only hearing about this now?
What? Really? Where did they announce this information?
Multiple places, really. They sent it to all of our work emails, and it was even announced in our group chat. I'm surprised you haven't heard it from one of your colleagues, since it's been a common topic of discussion around the office these past 2 months. Anyway, is that all you had to say to me?
Oh yeah, my wedding is going to be this Sunday, but...
Oh, is that so? Congratulations on your wedding.
I didn't invite you to the wedding ceremony, but I thought that I would invite you to the reception after that.
Thank you for the invitation, but I have a wedding on that day as well, so I can't go. I'm sorry.
Is that so? And to think I was trying to be nice to you for a change. This is why single old women like you are the worst. Do you even know how to loosen up and smile for a change, or is that frown just a permanent part of your face now?
Well then, I'm currently in the middle of eating lunch right now, so goodbye.
What? Are you kidding me right now? Why are you at my wedding ceremony, Pietra? You know that you weren't invited, right? I remember specifically telling you that a few days ago. Yet you seriously came to my wedding? Oh, that reminds me. You said something about how you couldn't come since you had a wedding of your own, right? You seriously didn't go to that wedding and came to mine instead? Why? Let me guess, you're here to get acquainted with some of my husband's friends, since most of them are doctors, lawyers, pilots, or other such high-income professions. I didn't think much of it when you told me you wouldn't come, since I just assumed that you were invited to a friend or relative's wedding, but to think that you were actually planning on finding a man at my wedding? This is unbelievable. The fact that you lied to me about it is especially disgusting. I didn't invite you here, so I'm not going to let you inside the wedding venue no matter what, all right? This is why single old women are the worst. They act all arrogant and superior, but at the end of the day have no sense of shame and are willing to do anything to find a man that will accept them. Will you please just hurry up and go home? You're not wanted here. Huh? You're seriously still here, Pietra? And to think that I was relieved and thought that you did as I told you and went home when you didn't barge into the chapel, as I was kind of expecting you to. Hold on, why are you wearing a wedding dress? But even wearing just a white dress is considered rude at a wedding, and you come here in a wedding dress? Seriously? Just how much of an idiot are you, Pietra? Don't tell me, but are you here for my groom? You seriously couldn't be satisfied with one of his rich friends or something? Seriously, I knew you were an uptight old hag, but to think that you were also one of those women who can only be satisfied by stealing other women's men, you disgust me, Pietra. That's not something a single old woman about to turn 40 is supposed to. Usually only pretty young women like me do stuff like that. Well, I understand why you would want to steal him after all. He's rich and handsome, but this is just going too far. It looks like I need to do something about this before the reception starts. I'm not going to let you ruin my wedding, no matter what, Pietra. Yes, I successfully chased away the single old hag that was after my groom. With that out of the way, we can have our wedding reception without having to worry about you barging in anymore. Wow, it looks like bringing the sewing kit was a good idea, I guess. These scissors especially came in handy.
Miria? Just what are you trying to do?
Oh, it looks like you finally replied to my texts.
Could you please explain to me why you suddenly ran at me with those scissors of yours and cut apart my wedding dress? To be honest, I thought that you were going to stab me or something.
Huh? Why in the world would I stab you? Are you accusing me of being a psychopath or something? And stop acting like you don't know anything. You know exactly what you did, and I don't have to tell you again. This is why single old women like you are the worst. They always start acting like the victim when they're caught doing something wrong. I mean, what were you even thinking coming to my wedding wearing a white dress? You're the one who owes me an explanation. Besides, I didn't even invite you, yet you still came. At first, I thought that you came to find a man of your own amongst my boyfriend's rich friends, but that's when I noticed that you came wearing a wedding dress. That's when I remembered how you told me you had a wedding of your own, which is when I realized what you were trying to tell me. You were planning on barging in on my wedding and stealing my groom from the start, weren't you? The wedding you had to go to was mine from the start, wasn't it? Jesus, Pietra, you're scaring me with just how much of a psychopath you are.
Basically none of what you just said right now is true, Miria.
It's no use lying to me, Pietra. I see right through you and your lies. Now that I cut that wedding dress of yours apart, it looks like you won't be able to find a man for yourself at my wedding like you intended anymore. Hurry up and go home.
What? I thought you said that I was after your groom or something. Never mind. It's no use trying to find logic in anything you say. Anyways, looks like I will have to go home now.
Too bad you couldn't get out of the life of a single woman. I guess you'll just have to wait a bit longer for that, but since you're already 30, and not only that, but have a terrible personality as well, I think it's going to be difficult for you to ever find a man. Sorry, Pietra. I kind of feel bad for you. I guess you're just going to have to live the rest of your life alone. That must be really sad, right? But enough of that already. Because today I gracefully overcame the obstacle that was the single old woman that came to ruin my wedding, and I'm now going to find happiness with my husband.
I had no idea that we were having our weddings at the same venue.
What are you talking about?
It's not that I was invited to someone else's wedding, but I came to this wedding venue to have my own wedding. Oh, and I feel stupid for even having to mention this, but I definitely did not come to your wedding to steal your groom or something. I was wearing a wedding dress because I was the bride, as it's custom for the bride to do, you know.
Huh? But isn't it a thing where a crazy jealous woman suddenly shows up at your wedding wearing a wedding dress because she intends on stealing your husband? Doesn't that happen in real life as well? Pietra, what are you going to do about this? I can't get married anymore because of you.
Good morning, Miria. I heard that your fiancé canceled the marriage.
Yes, and it's all your fault. He told me that he didn't want to marry a crazy woman that cuts up other women's wedding dresses or something. I tried explaining to him that I only did it because I thought that you were there to steal him from me, but he said that that just made me sound even more crazy. But to think that I was about to marry a rich man, that's gone now, and it's all because of you. Seriously, what are you going to do about this? This is your fault, you know.
How is this my fault? This is all you're doing, Miria, so please don't blame me for your misfortunes.
It's your fault for wearing a wedding dress. If I had known that we were having our weddings on the same day and at the same venue, this never would have happened.
First of all, it seems like you're forgetting the fact that you suddenly ran up to me with scissors in your hands and cut apart my wedding dress. I mean, you could have at least talked to me and asked me why, and second of all, it's not like I planned this, since I didn't know that you were going to have your wedding at the same wedding venue as mine.
What did you just say to me? Are you trying to say that I'm not a normal person or something? Of course I didn't hesitate in ripping apart your wedding dress. I thought that you were there to steal my groom.
You see, my wedding was a small-scale one, so I only invited friends and family. I didn't invite anyone from the company. I heard that you too only invited a few of your colleagues you were close with from work. Besides, did you forget that I made an announcement to the company that I was getting married on the same day you were going to have your wedding?
What? You told the company that you were getting married?
I did.
What?
This is probably the reason that we didn't notice that we were going to have our weddings at the same venue.
I don't care about any of that anymore. All that matters now is that my wedding was canceled. My rich fiance, he's gone now.
Yes, but complaining about that to me isn't going to change anything.
You rented a new wedding dress and went through with your wedding, right? That's so unfair. Why do you get married and I don't?
Miria.
What?
You see, when you suddenly approached me with those scissors and cut apart my wedding dress with them, I was honestly very scared.
Huh?
Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, and since you were probably going to have to pay for a lot of different stuff, like an alimony from your ex-fiancé and cancellation fees for your wedding, not only that, but I heard that the wedding venue was going to make you pay for the wedding dress that you cut apart. That's why I thought I would just forget about it and not make a big deal, but...
What are you on about?
Not only do you show zero remorse towards your actions, but you act as if I'm the one who harmed you and not the other way around and are getting mad at me for it, I think.
I don't like where this is going.
I realize now that if I don't settle things with you, it's not going to benefit either of us, so I decided that I'm going to make you pay me an alimony.
Seriously? Pietra, please, I'm begging you. I regret what I did to you, so now you can cancel that alimony you're making me pay you. Not only am I being asked to pay a total of 50,000 euros to my husband in the wedding venue, but even the company is suggesting that I voluntarily resign. Even if they let me stay, everyone at the company gives me these strange looks and suddenly started being cold to me. So I think I have no choice but to quit. And on top of that, my parents are saying that there's no way that they're going to help me. And that, on the other hand, they were actually going to cut ties with me, which means that I don't have anyone to rely on anymore. But you're still going to make me pay you an alimony? Even though I'm currently living in hell on earth? There's no way I'm going to be able to bounce back from this. Pietra, please. Don't you realize how much anguish you're causing me right now? I'm asking you as a colleague to help me right now, you know? I'm begging you from the bottom of my heart, and you still won't help me? Just who do you think you even are? This is why single old women are the worst.
Oh, I guess you're married now, but... When I went to work the next day, Miria was nowhere to be seen. I asked our manager about it, and apparently she had already turned in her letter of resignation. I heard about what happened to her after that from her parents, who came to me to apologize for what their daughter had done. After submitting her letter of resignation, it seems that Miria planned on locking herself in her own room in her parents' house, even though her parents had already cut ties with her. But her parents already knew Miria and how she was an expert at running away from difficult situations with all her strength all too well. They kept watch over the house's entrance, and sure enough, Miria was attempting to sneak into her room. They captured her immediately, and apparently they sent her to live with a relative of hers that she hated so much that it was possible that for her seeing them was a trauma in and of itself. It seems that these relatives of hers paid for all the stuff Miria had to pay for. She was for some reason welcomed at this house, which is when the two sons of the family... I decided that listening to Miria's parents' story any longer than that would give me trauma myself, so I ended the conversation with them there.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
There you are, Aaron. It took me forever to find out your new phone number. I went through so much trouble in order to find you a decent woman to marry. I even went as far as planning an extravagant wedding for you. And then you run off and marry some random floozy. And to top it all off, you moved and changed your phone number without telling me? How could you treat me this way? I suppose you aren't entirely to blame. You never were one to stand up for yourself. I have no doubt that awful woman who you married is the one putting you up to all of this. But not to worry, Aaron. It'll be fine soon. I found your new address. I'll be over there soon, and with me there to back you up, I'm sure together we can sort that harpy out. I'm just about to get in my car, so I should be there in no time. It's clear that woman wasn't given a proper upbringing, so I'll have to fix her mother's mistakes. I'll have her whipped into shape before the month's end, Aaron. Mark my words.
Mom? What the hell is going on here?
Ah, I see you finally noticed my message. I was wondering, when would you reply? It had been almost 2 hours. I was starting to worry that woman had taken your phone from you, but since you seem to be fine, I suppose you were simply too overwhelmed with joy at the thought of your mother coming to rescue you from your misery that you were at a loss for words.
I was in a meeting, at my job. I didn't have time to check my phone until now, and I just saw your messages. And in any case I wasn't clear before, you were the last person I wanted to hear from. I told you, Mom, I'm cutting you out of my life. Got it? Now go back home.
Oh, my dear sweet Aaron, it's absolutely terrifying the grip that awful woman has on you. Ugh, I get shivers whenever I hear her name. Charity. Bleh. But as I said before, Aaron, you don't need to be afraid of her anymore. I've managed to track down your new address. There's nothing she can do to keep me from you now. I'll get right to work on fixing her up as soon as I get to your house, so don't you worry about a thing. You just focus on your work and leave all the dirty work to your dear mother.
Mom, I've told you this more times than I can remember, but Charity is my wife. She's wonderful to me. I love her, and you don't need to fix anything about her. Go home. You are not welcome at our house, and you never will be, so do not come. Do I make myself clear?
I've just turned onto your street, Aaron, to be there shortly.
Oh, for the love of God! Charity? It's me. Listen, this is very important. I need you to lock all the doors and windows and do not open them for anyone, okay? I mean it. Charity? Do not open them for anyone except me. No matter what they say, keep the doors locked. Pretend you aren't home.
Aaron, what's going on? You're scaring me.
It's my mom. I don't know how, but she managed to find our new address.
What?
She just messaged me a minute ago saying that she was on our street, so she'll probably be there soon. Do you hear anything outside?
Well, actually, I just got to my client's office a little while ago. I have a meeting with them in a little bit, so yeah, I'm not at home right now and won't be for a while.
Really? Oh yeah, you did mention that earlier.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not home at the moment, so you don't need to worry about me letting her in. When she sees that no one's there, she's gonna turn around and go back home, right?
Just in case, I think we'd better book a room at a hotel for tonight. Do you have your valuables on you?
Yeah, I carry around whatever is carryable. Just like you said, anything that's too big to fit in my bag I left at my parents' house.
Okay. Sounds like we're in the clear for now. Anyway, thanks. I guess the next order of business is to find a new apartment as soon as possible. Man, it's time like this that make me really happy that we're both fortunate enough to get jobs that let us work from home.
Yeah, for real. If we were working at a regular company, it would be a lot harder for us to up and move to a different place in an emergency. Imagine if you had to keep living there even after your mom found us.
Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. And Charity, I'm really sorry that my mom is causing so much trouble for us.
Aaron, I keep telling you, you don't need to apologize for anything. I knew exactly what I was getting into when I married you, and I said yes, didn't I?
Yeah, you sure did. Thanks, Charity. Okay, well, I'm gonna get us a hotel room. I'll message you again once I make the reservation.
Okay, no rush. Gonna go talk to my client now. Bye. What is it with this city? Every single street looks exactly the same. I feel like I've been going in circles for the last half an hour. Whatever made you think it would be a good idea to move to this god-forsaken place? But not to worry. I finally found your place, Aaron. Isn't this exciting? We're about to embark on a new journey as a family, just the two of us, and that awful wife of yours who we'll be reforming. We'll give her all the tough love she needs to straighten her out, and if she resists, then you'll divorce her immediately. Ah, and you don't need to worry about being lonely when she's gone. I've already got the perfect woman lined up for you to marry. She's just like your dear old mother. Aaron, what is the meaning of all this? You never told me Charity was pregnant, and she looks like she could give birth any second now. That awful little brat tried to stop me from coming in the house, so I gave her a bit of a smack. Out of love, of course. Spare the rod and spoil the child. She's going to have to get used to a new way of life, and it's better she does than sooner than later. But in any case, your apartment really is something else. Aaron, it's gorgeous. I feel like I could fit my whole house inside the living room. There should be more than enough space for me to put my things. So tell me, Aaron, what about time were you planning on being home tonight? I'm having Charity make me a bite to eat for lunch right now, since I thought it would be a good plan to start her cooking training right away. So if you have any requests for dinner, let me know and I'll have her start working on it just as she finishes making my lunch. Anything you want, dear, just name it.
Mom? Hold on. Back up 1 second. You're already at our apartment? Exactly when did you get there?
A few moments ago, dear. I told you I would find you, didn't I? Seriously, though, imagine my shock when I find out that I would become a grandmother in less than a month. Granted, I do have my share of issues with the child maternal lineage, but not to worry, I'm an expert in discipline, so I'll have any of his mother's traits wiped out of him by the time he enters elementary school.
Wait. Child?
Yes, my grandchild. And since I'll be living with the two of you, I'll always be there to ensure that awful wife of yours doesn't have too much of a negative influence.
Mom? Charity isn't pregnant.
What are you talking about?
Also, Charity isn't at home either. She's with me right now.
That's impossible. She's in the kitchen right now.
When I found out you were coming, I booked us a room at a hotel for the night to keep from having to deal with you. We're both at the station right now. She just got off her train and we're about to head to the hotel.
How many times do I have to tell you she's right here? She's making my lunch as we speak. She can't be with you.
I have no idea what's going on right now, but... Mom, please don't tell me that you just barged into the apartment and started acting like you own the place.
What's wrong with that? It's your apartment. So since I'm your mother, I do own the place in a way, a fact which that awful woman seemed not to understand. Where did she get off threatening to call the police on me? It seems as though I have my work cut out for me straightening her up. It's dreadful that she doesn't even give me the proper respect to the mother of the man who's financing her selfish, greedy lifestyle.
I'm not financing anything, Mom. We both work. And that's completely besides the point. Mom, I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to say.
What is it, dear?
The apartment you're in right now is not ours. You stormed into the wrong apartment.
Nonsense.
Listen, Mom, Charity is with me. She's standing right beside me. And she's not 9 months pregnant. She's not even 1 month pregnant. She's not pregnant at all. And our apartment is not that big. It's a studio apartment. There's barely enough room for us, much less you and all of your stuff.
You're not making any sense.
Let me ask you something. What makes you think the address you're at right now is our address? How did you find it?
Oh well, you know, a friend of mine who lives near you said they saw you moving your bags into this apartment, so they told me the address.
That's odd. When did this happen, exactly?
Well, I suppose it's been out 6 months or so. So I started planning out my re-education plan for your awful wife and saving up money for the move. And once everything was settled, I headed over there right away.
Oh, okay. I think I get what happened now.
What is it? What happened?
The place you're at right now is about 10 minutes away from a big shopping mall down the road from an elementary school, right?
Yes, why?
You said it was 6 months ago, so that would put it roughly 3 months after I formally cut you out of my life. That apartment belonged to a friend of mine from college. He and his wife were living there. They were kind enough to let us stay there for 2 weeks while we got an apartment sorted out.
2 weeks?
Yeah? The residents of the apartment we were moving into still had 2 weeks left on their lease, so we just had to wait until they were all moved out. So, yeah, it wasn't a permanent living arrangement. We were only there for a short time.
So, the woman in the kitchen right now isn't your wife, it's your friend's wife? Oh my goodness gracious! Do be a dear and call them to explain the situation. I'm sure they'll understand it's coming from you.
I'm not finished. My friends moved out of that apartment months ago.
What? Oh no, Aaron, this is terrible. The woman here, she called her husband and he just came home. He started yelling at me and I was so terrified that I ran and locked myself in their bathroom. What should I do now? Help me.
So, as I was saying, the people living in the apartment that you just barged into, they're not us. They're not my friends. They're not my friends' friends. I have no idea who they are.
That can't be.
To summarize, you just barged into someone's apartment, assaulted a 9 months pregnant woman, and are now locked in their bathroom and refusing to leave. In the business, that's what they call trespassing?
That wasn't my intention at all.
Well, intentional or not, once the police get there, I think you're looking at a mandatory ride to the station.
Police?
My wife? As in my real wife, and not the woman who you just assaulted because you thought she was my wife? Just got off the phone with the local police department and explained the situation.
Oh no. Oh no. What should I do now?
What choice do you have? Explain yourself and apologize, and maybe they won't press charges.
Apologize? Why should I have to do that?
Well, in this case, I would say the most pertinent reason is because you slapped a pregnant woman and forced her to make you lunch for the trouble?
But it was an honest mistake.
I don't believe this. Are you for real? You've met Charity so many times, yet you still managed to forget what she looked like and confuse her with some random stranger?
Well...
And I mean, it's not like you forgot her name. At any point in your escapades today, did you think even just once to address her by name? That would have saved you a lot of trouble, I think.
But that's... It was obviously her. She had the key to your apartment and everything. Well, the apartment I thought was yours, so when I saw her open the door and go in, I knew it had to be her.
Oh, and one other thing. Even after I got married and told you, repeatedly, that I don't need or want you to find a wife for me, you went ahead with your plans anyway, didn't you? What kind of inconsiderate, unthinking, oblivious moron are you? My God in heaven. When your husband divorces you, and your only son disowns you, I'd say most people would stop and think, gee, maybe I'm the problem here. But not you.
Aaron?
Whatever. I'm done with you. Enjoy prison, you psychopath.
Aaron, I can't believe you. You're my son. I'm your mother. You have to help me. Hurry up and do something. You can't speak to me that way. Aaron, pick up this instant.
My mom was taken into custody by the local police, and after consulting with the poor people she barged in on, she was charged with trespassing, assault and battery, and a few other crimes. She evaded prison time due to her age, but now she had to deal with the inconveniences of having a criminal record. While she was busy dealing with the fallout of her trial and conviction, I talked with Charity's parents, and as of today, I have officially changed my name and no longer have any connections, legal or otherwise, to my mother. It hit her pretty hard when she heard the news through the grapevine. Fortunately, she had never visited my in-laws' house and has no way of finding out where they live, so I don't think we'll be hearing from her ever again. But, just in case, I went ahead and got a legal restraining order against her. As for what she's doing now, my aunt told me that she had holed herself up in her house for days after she got back from the police station. She got fired from her job, and now she has to deal with finding new work with a criminal record to her name in order to pay off the damages she owes to that couple. Oh, and speaking of them, they called the other day and said she had given birth to a healthy baby boy. I'm really happy for them. I have a feeling that child will grow up in a much better environment than I did.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.